Hi, my name is Lainie Fefferman, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about who I am and what I do. I am a person who makes music. I've been making music, if you talk to my folks, I guess since I was born, because I loved singing and I loved making noise. And then I studied a lot of classical piano, and I started becoming what people would call a composer probably in my teenage years, like in high school. I had a really good theory teacher, and his name was Randall Bauer. He's a composer, and he really showed me that all that time that I'd spent practicing piano, playing other people's music, I could also be spending tons of time at the piano playing my own music, and that led me to writing music for other people. And then I went to school and I learned how to write little black dots on lines to make music with other people. And then I went to grad school, and I loved grad school, and I learned how to put little sine waves in a laptop to make music for people, but also for computers. So that's a whirlwind view of what I do. I will also say that right now my big thoughts are with the world and politics, probably like a lot of you folks watching. I look around at the world and I see what's happening, and I'm curious what my role is in it. I have a lot of music making friends who directly speak to the world situation with the music that they create, either topically using documentary sounds and footage like an amazing composer like Mary Kiamjian. There are people who just by the nature of the music are speaking politically to the anger and confusion and chaos of the moment. I don't do any of that. I, for better for worse, have never felt comfy or never felt like it's me to speak directly politically through my music. If I want to do something to affect change in the world, that's usually through actions like writing postcards to voters or going to a protest or canvassing for a candidate I believe in, calling my Congress people. But you know what I use my music for in this weird and chaotic and dark time? Joy. I use it for joy. I really think it's important to be around people you love and to make those people feel good about being alive. And I take a lot of inspiration from all the folks who say that joy is an act of resistance. So I want more kindness and peace and love and merriment in the world for everybody. I'm going to do my best as a music maker to contribute to a culture of fun and sweetness and hugs and baking and sewing and musicking and mathing and coding and all the stuff that makes me happy and hopefully makes other people around me happy too. So I'm going to give you first up a piece that I made for my wonderful friends at YIVO, the Yiddish archive, and then for Shepherdess, the fabulous fiddling and singing duo of Heinal and Kaylee. I'm going to give you a video that we made in this very apartment for a piece called A Sweet and Righteous Soul Gets Drunk on Champagne. Hope you enjoy.
Und als der Rebbe Elimelech ist geworden sehr fröhlich. Sehr freilich ist geworden Elimelech. Hat euch getrun die Tfilen und hat angetrun die Brillen. Und Geschicht noch die Fiedlers. Die zwei und die Fideldichter Fiedlers haben Fiedel haben Fideldichter Fiedel haben sei und die Fideldichter Fiedlers haben Fideldichter Fiedler haben Fideldichter Fiedel haben sei. Und als der Rebbe Elimelech ist geworden noch mehr freilich, ist geworden noch mehr freilich Elimelech, hat abgemacht Havdole mit der Schames Rebnaftule. Und Gesicht noch die Peikles, die zwei. Und die Peikeldicke Peikles haben Peikeldicke Peikel haben Peikeldicke Peikel haben sie. Und die Peikeldicke Peikles haben Peikeldicke Peikel haben Peikeldicke Peikel haben. Und die Zimbeldicke Zimbels haben Zimbeldicke Zimbel haben Zimbeldicke Zimbel haben sie. Und die Zimbeldicke Zimbels haben Zimbeldicke Zimbel haben Zimbeldicke Zimbel haben sie.
Well, still with me? Amazing. If you enjoyed that video, I hope to make many more like them in the days and weeks and years to come. I edited that video, and there's something about editing video that actually activated all the things that I love about composing. I had all that footage of all my beloved friends, and I picked the most sweet and interesting and characteristic moments of our epic, 6 or 7 hour dinner party, and our, I think, 1 hour recording session of the musicians playing the piece, and I just found the like, essence of joy, sweet moments to put them together in a way that made its own narrative make sense. And that's what I love doing in the music I make, whether it's electronic music, it's collaging found sounds in the world. I'm recording this in my apartment in Brooklyn. You're probably hearing the idling trucks and the screaming teenagers and the, adorable grocery store across the street putting their eggplants and turnips away. That's all part of the chaos of music that I love, making music that I love, and I really love doing it with video. So a big thing that I'm interested in doing coming up is making more music videos. I guess sort of in the tradition of MTV and VH1, except I'm really guessing in my own practice it's going to be the least slick and least sexy things in the world, and really dig deep into my love of the idiosyncratic and the joyful and the personal. So watch out for some fun videos in the years to come. But, the past few years, I have not been in the video biz. I've been in the music biz. So I want to share with you another project that I've been up to recently. I've been making portrait pieces for a little over 15 years. Wow. A little over 15 years. And what that means is a friend of mine will ask me to make them a piece, and I'll decide that instead of just making a generic piece for piano or string quartet or some gorgeous piece of music that any ensemble could play or performer could play, I make an unbelievably specific, often embarrassing piece that is actually about the performer who commissioned the piece. So I tape an interview that I conduct with the commissioning performer, and I stitch that together, my love of collage and personal things and found sound. I stitch the interview together as kind of a backing track. Sometimes I include some of the performer playing their instrument in that backing track. And then on top of that, I compose a piece using my composer chops, usually with dots on lines, but sometimes with text instructions or graphic score for the performer to play along with that track. So I'm going to share with you a yet unreleased track. This is a world premiere of this recording, except this is a crappy mix that I made, and this track for Ethel String Quartet, which is, one of the reasons I went into this biz, is Ethel String Quartet's that original album with the strong arm right in the front made me feel amazing in the world, and like I wanted to join this community of music makers. So I was lucky enough that they asked me to write them a piece, and I decided to make a portrait piece of them, and this track is going to be on an album of portrait pieces that I have made, coming out soon on Gold Bolus Recordings, which is really, my favorite label in the world, and I'm lucky enough to be on that label. So watch out for a Gold Bolus release coming soon of all my portrait pieces, which will be for the amazing Kathy Sapovi, pianist extraordinaire, the wondrous James Moore, guitar monster and angel, like a beast he plays. The dazzlingly fabulous Eleanor Oppenheim. What a goddess of bass in all its incarnations she is in my life. This Ethel String Quartet that you're about to hear, I interviewed not just the group themselves, but also a bunch of the collaborators that they worked with. I think it was 21 interviews in all. I've talked to composers and performers and fans who've been with them from the beginning, because I wanted to weave a tapestry as like a love poem to this group in my life. And then a piece for Wunder pianist Camilla Arcu, international touring artist, brilliant person and influence in my life. And then finally, I will have my piece for Side Band, the laptop ensemble that I am a founding member of and a performing member in. So It's gonna be like a little yearbook of Lainie's music loves, and all of the pieces will reflect, I think, my own fangirling of the musicians who are kind enough to work with me. So this one that I'm about to share, this Ethel performance of my piece for them, it's gonna be mixed and mastered by Yasha Narvison, the unbelievable engineer that I work with for my recordings. Hasn't been yet. This is gonna be the Lainie mix, so be kind in your thoughts on the mix. But I really wanted to share this piece with you because I think it actually does embody a lot of the joyfulness that I feel working within this music community and just being a fan of this music community. So I felt like this is a perfect way to show you really where my head is at and where my heart is at. I hope you enjoy. Wait, P.S. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show you the score. I was going to show you them, but actually I think I'm going to show you a score because I really had fun making this score, and a lot of the performance instructions still make me giggle. I hope they're useful to the group because I really enjoyed writing them. Okay, here we go. Here's the piece. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Ralph Ferris, and I play the viola. Hi, I'm Ralph Ferris, and I play the viola. Hi, I'm Ralph Ferris, and I play the viola. Hi, I'm Ralph Ferris, and I play the viola.
Hi, I'm Corin Lee, and I play the violin.
And I am Dorothy Lawson, and I play the cello.
I'm Kip Jones, and I also play the violin.
Profound.
Hi, it's Ralph. We met at a concert. Are you interested in an opportunity?
I came to play with Ethel
was
when
wearing
Tema
my
texted me
girlfriend's
saying I should
sweater
audition
from
for her
Deeply
spot.
suspect.
My loudest apologies to you all.
Ethel has a different behavior. They search for music from the world.
You could really write anything for them.
These guys really can go into different styles, just be there in it. And there's a real level of versatility there.
I first encountered Ethel at Kennedy Airport. Actually, I encountered Mary first. There was a woman with a whole lot of blonde hair in front of me.
The original violinists were Mary Rowell and Todd Reynolds.
Somewhere between 1998 and 1999, and I really don't remember when. Evan said to me, he says, well, if you were going to do a string quartet, who are the people you'd really love to play with?
I never wanted to be in a quartet. And it was only these three people.
And it did feel like
music.
A new sound.
groovy.
Just game to have fun.
Four playful, four voices, powerhouse,
Playful, open-hearted.
The karate chop
fun,
quarter note.
virtuosity and
A little bit
precision.
boisterous at times.
Yeah, that is them. Probably pushed them out.
Really friendly group.
String orchestra parts had been written so that the Berkeley String Orchestra could accompany Vasson at a couple of concerts in Portland, Maine, but they were lacking a good double bass player, and so they called my friend who was in the chamber orchestra, whom I'd written the double concerto, and therefore we went up to Maine to hang out with Vasson and played a couple of concerts with them, and we enjoyed hanging out with them. And the string department was in Boston, so we said hello and shook hands and everything like that. And so when these people finally called, Melissa Howe said, string orchestra parts had been written so that the Berkeley String Orchestra could accompany Vasson at a couple of concerts in Portland, Maine, but they were lacking a good double bass player, so they called my friend who was in the chamber orchestra, whom I'd written the double concerto, and therefore we went up to Maine to hang out with Vasson and played a couple of concerts with them, and we enjoyed hanging out with them. And the string department was in Boston, and we said hello and shook hands and everything like that. And so when these people finally called, Melissa Howe said, string orchestra parts had been written so that the Berkeley String Orchestra could accompany. String orchestra parts had been written so that the Berkeley String Orchestra lacking a good string orchestra parts had been written so that the Berkeley String Orchestra could accompany Vasson and therefore we went up to chamber. Therefore we went up to double concerto and string department was therefore we went up to Maine to hang out with Vasson. String department was in Boston and finally called, and now we're filming Melissa Howe. String department was in Boston. Hello. String orchestra parts had been written so that the Berkeley String finally called. String orchestra parts had been written so that the Berkeley String accompany Vasson. String orchestra parts had been written so that the there's this guy who is just here.
Awesome.
Who graduated 10 years ago.
Kip Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have focused very consciously on music by our friends. But the Bang on a Can family,
Friends, I mean Julia Wolf and John King and Marcelo Zarbos.
Downtown
Kathleen
Steve Reich, and Phil Klein and Mark
I'm
Stewart.
Randall Wolf. This is the first time when I wrote something that I really didn't think of the instruments, I thought of the people's names.
I would just put in their initials. They played Julie Wolf's piece. I always want to call it Suddenly Last Summer, but that's a Tennessee Williams play. I can't remember what it was called. It's something about last summer.
Later that summer.
The beginning of Julie Wolf's piece. I mean, that really, that is a summer. I mean, the piece and how they sound playing it.
That is their piece. I mean, they own that. And it kind of owns them, too.
It's always the conclusion of the gigantic 10-minute ramp-up in Julia Wolf's piece early that summer.
Them playing that is really a landmark of the style.
Silence, and then these rock, power chords, bam, 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 and then boom, this gigantic chord at the end, and no one can predict where any of that is going to happen. It's so cool. But when you find yourself in midair there for that second before you hit those chords, you just know that the audience is your victim. You know that they are going to bow down to these power chords, and it's so much fun.
The karate chop quarter note.
One of my favorite moments in an Ethel
In Dorothy's
piece.
piece, Chai. You're doing banjo. It's this moment that I'm doing. Da 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 da. That's it. Da 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 da. I'm doing this. What is that? Is it? Da da da. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm doing the sense some sort of Neolithic thing over the... You guys are going square like this. And I
really loved this too.
I love these people. I love.
That was really cool.
Well, I'd say the main thing would be the rhythmic drive and precision.
One of my favorite moments in an Ethel
Closing
piece
of Marcelo Zarbos' piece Arrival is this nice theme that kind of appears out of nowhere. We've been kind of playing like repetitive 16th note and 8th note ostinati throughout the entire piece, and there haven't been a lot of long phrases. There's one in the beginning that comes in and goes da, 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 and then there it kind of happens again, and then there are some chords, but the contrast of like a soaring line over over a chunky repeating ostinato hasn't really occurred yet for any length of time. And then suddenly the first violin comes in and plays da, ya, da, da, no, da, 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 and having this like thing up there that's suddenly like carrying responsibility that hasn't appeared throughout the piece, it's kind of like this new quality, and then it's gone again, and then everything's back in the trenches, and then the piece ends and it's over. But there's this kind of moment where you feel like a certain part of it like soars through the clouds and like is up there for a little bit, and then it kind of ducks back down. What's the insulting word for unpretentious? Like, what's the converse of unpretentious? Like, how do you say unpretentious in a positive word without it having
really
like
in a positive way?
or just like, you know, instead of having a negating prefix, but like, what is the word that means unpretentious that doesn't come along with a connotation of like somehow less intelligent or
welcoming?
You know,
accessible.
it's like I know accessible has this sort of like, oh, they're gonna play, you know,
grounded or earth.
Down to
real.
I don't like that word.
My favorite moment in an Ethel piece is during Jed Greenstein's Octet 1979. It goes do wow 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 wow, and it just kind of stays there for a while.
And then that goes on for a while.
And then we have some rest, and then we go. Big giant slide all the way up to these people. That's a.
I will never experience that.
That's well written.
Again. That's just awesome. That's good. Okay. Well, folks, that's it for me for now. I hope to make more portrait pieces in the future. You want a portrait piece? Give me a call, or rather, email me. Go to my website, LainieFefferman.com. I coded it myself because another thing I love in the world is creating fun graphics and websites, and I had a field day. Thank you so much to all the performers who played on this video. Thank you so much to the Composers Now Festival and all the lovely people who helped make this video happen. And I hope to be talking with you in the YouTube chat and see you at a concert.